Good afternoon. I'm chuckling as I look at the title that I've chosen for today and think back to when I was a teenager, and I can remember the play that was out at that time. Uh, I was in high school. Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. And that's the title for today, going back to that play from I'm pretty sure it was in the 60s. Yes, it was in the 60s. Um, Anyway, the blurb that I wrote goes like this. I wasn't sure what to talk about today, and what keeps coming to me as I meditate is the conversation I had with a friend who called me yesterday. She was distraught, feeling as if she did not belong on this planet anymore. She did not feel comfortable in her home, and perhaps not in her skin either, though she didn't say that. She thought maybe moving to another state might help. I reminded her that wherever she might go, there she is. I used to think getting out of this place would solve my discomfort. It never did, at least not past the initial excitement of discovering a new place. The truth is, with all that is going on in our world, few people feel comfortable if they are at all aware and honest with themselves. Humanity is going where, I believe, we have never gone before. And even if we've had the opportunity, we blew it. In my opinion, it is essential that we search and find the really good things that are happening on our planet. Otherwise, we will be extremely challenged by the collapse of the familiar that is happening all around us, churning up lots of emotions within us. If this is your experience, you're not alone. It was funny because that same friend just called me a short time ago, and I told her that the conversation that we had yesterday triggered the topic for today's discussion, so I'm sure she will be listening. In any case, yes, stop the world, I want to get off. I have felt that way myself many times. I too have felt that there must have been some mistake. I don't belong here. Whether it was my marriage that I was in, whether it was the job that I had, whether it was whatever it was. When I was in high school, I felt I reached a point in the 10th grade where I thought, man, I'm wasting my time. This stuff is crazy. This isn't taking me where I want to go. I mean, I actually had an idea at that time where I wanted to go. And I knew that school wasn't going to get me there, which is why finally I ended up dropping out before graduation, actually writing an 11.4-page letter of resignation to the school on the fallacies of secondary education as I saw it as a 17-year-old. I think I was 17. Anyway, oh, the world is going through some really tough times right now because everything that we've been told is reality is collapsing. It's collapsing all around us. And you may say, well, yeah, the Illuminati's making it collapse. It's all they're doing. You know, the bad people, they're the ones that are in control. They've always been in control. They always will be in control, and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, there's an awful lot of people on this planet that feel that way, and even spiritual people. Well, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. There's nothing I can do to change anything. And some people have a tendency, even if they don't watch television, and my friend is not a television person. She's an internet person. And she studies all the things that are going on in the world, the chemtrails, the genetically modified food, the vaccinations, and the horrors of modern medicine, and, and the corruption, especially in America. I mean, America is the most corrupt nation on the planet, and it's because it's not a nation, it's a corporation. But so are other countries' corporations, but this one's really corrupt. I mean, this one has taken corruption to a whole new standard. I mean, our government, our politicians, our corporate leaders, our CEOs, and all the people that are supposedly in charge, our education system. I mean, this is insanity on steroids. The United States of America, the one that had the foundation laid to become a bastion of freedom and a lighthouse for the whole world, has become the darkest and most corrupt nation on earth. Only Israel, in my opinion, would come close to equaling the horrors of the United States government, the horrors of a ruling sociopathic class that is psychopathic in its very nature. No wonder people say, stop the world, I want to get off, when this is what we're looking at. I mean, no wonder. I mean, we're seeing all this crap that's going on when there's no justice in our courts, when police are nothing more than, oftentimes, nothing more than thugs, an organized crime syndicate that's supposed to maintain law and order, and they actually do everything they can to disrupt law and order. When the CIA and the FBI and the NSA and all of these other three-letter agencies in the United States of America are out doing black operations for a criminal elite that still wants to maintain control, but the control is slipping away. Yeah, they had a plan to take down the country. And the country's going to be taken down from the old ways of doing business. Absolutely, that's true. Nothing is going to remain the way it is, but let me tell you something, folks. Their handwriting is on the wall, and there are indicators all around. If you look for them, there are indicators that huge change is coming. Did you know that on September 1st, the resignations of many key people in the U.S. government have already been tendered, that they are resigning as of September 1st, which coincidentally is the date that the Pope gave, that no longer would de facto governments and corporations be able to hide behind their corporate shield. The corporate shield has come down as of September 1st this year, and everyone will be accountable for his or her actions lawfully and legally in real courts. I mean, real courts. Now, we don't have real courts very much in the United States anymore, but they're being created. There are people that are working on actual courts. There are people all over the world that are working on creating common law courts and grand juries and things that will bring to justice those that have been out of control, who also are the ones that have awakened humanity. I mean, come on, folks, let's face it. We're so lazy as human beings. If everything is going good, we'd never wake up. Nothing would ever change. So we have to shake things up, and the people that shook things up are the very people that we want so much to get rid of, and rightfully so, because what they've done is wrong. What they've done is evil. What they've done is crimes against humanity, and they've done them over and over and over again. That's the truth. They're poisoning our air. They're poisoning our water. They're poisoning the water under the earth or in the earth. They're poisoning the wells and the aquifers. They're poisoning everything. They're poisoning our medicine. They're poisoning our food. They're poisoning the whole world. But the whole world is waking up. With every problem, there is a solution. That's the way it works in the cosmos. You don't ever get a problem that you don't also have a solution. And oftentimes, for people that are paying attention only to the mainstream news, I mean, it's bad enough if you just pay attention to the alternative news on the internet. But if all you get is the stuff that's on TV and in newspapers and on the mainstream radios, I mean, you're in a sad place. No wonder you might think, stop the world, I want to get off. No wonder that's where you are. Because all you're looking at is the bad news, because they want to make people feel bad. Because that makes them able to feed off of our negativity. And there's nothing wrong with our negativity if we would own it. But when we don't have a solution, when we don't see a way out, when we're in despair and become despondent, and we want to run away and put our head in the sand or up our butts, well, yeah, that's the kind of energy that helps them think that maybe they can win. But they can't win. There's too many people awakened. There's too many people that know what's going on. And there are many people who not only know what's going on, but also are working for solutions, toward solutions. I'm one of them. I work with people and connect with people around the globe that are working on things that will bring positive change. The OPPT people are one of those. I mean, this is a group of people that have actual steps that they're taking to repurpose the existing system so as to cause as little discomfort and as little what's the word that I'm looking for, disruption of services as possible, that we can transition as peacefully as possible from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, from the paradigm of lies and corruption and fraud to the paradigm where everything is honest and open and above board, and where people that try to pull fast ones over on everybody else get caught with their pants down and get slapped. I mean, sometimes hard, and rightfully so, because what we sow, we reap. And it's time that we start reaping it more quickly, so that we can actually see the connection between sowing and reaping, so that the people that have sown all the problems on the earth will actually benefit from the result of those problems, that they will come back on themselves like a boomerang coming back and boom, gotcha. They threw it at somebody else, but it's a boomerang and it came back. Interesting. And I use the illustration of the boomerang because one of the places where a lot's happening is the continent of Australia, where the boomerang is one of their tools, if you will, the Aboriginal tools. Well, there's lots of things going on that penal colony of Australia and Tasmania and New Zealand that is really positive. If you want to find out where good things are happening, that's one place to look. If you want to find another place, look in Africa. Lots of good things happening there. Lots of good things happening across Asia. Lots of good things happening in Indonesia. Lots of good things happening in a lot of places. Not so much in the United States, although it's happening here. But here we've got the most criminal government that the world has ever known to deal with, that doesn't want to let go of its power. And it's going to collapse. I don't know all the ways of how. I mean, some people say they've been given from July the 1st, when all of the debt was forgiven. All of the debt. Now, this is according to Divine Providence, to James McBride, the Postmaster General. All the debts were forgiven and wiped out as of July 1st of this year. And they've been given 3 years to make it visible to everybody. Why would they give them 3 years? I mean, to me, 3 weeks should be plenty. 3 months, I mean, my God, that would be a tremendous gift of grace to them. 3 years is a little bit too much. But that's what James McBride said. I just listened to his video this morning. But what I'm trying to tell you, folks, is that there are people that are bringing real solutions. Yes, we're making people aware of the problem. We have to do that. Things don't exist in isolation and without being connected to each other. Things exist as part of a continuum, as part of a history, or a her story, or our story. Okay? It's part of where we've been, where we are, so that we can understand where we're going. We're going where we've never gone before. Maybe we've had the opportunity in Atlantis and other worlds where we failed, where we didn't get it right. This time we're going to get it right. This time we've got all sorts of cosmic help, and there's all sorts of awakening going on all over the place. Yes, there's a whole lot of shaking going on, as Jerry Lee Lewis sang a long time ago. That was in the 60s too, I believe. Maybe he wanted to stop the world and get off. Lots of us have felt that way. My friend, she wants to go to another place. Another place isn't going to help. Because, like I said to her, and I'll say it to you, and I've been reminded of it myself many times, wherever I go, there I am. I was all alone, no friend by me, tossed and troubled on life's cruel sea. I wanted to run, but where could I go? I couldn't escape from myself, I know. Flee. Yes, flee. I'll follow the sun. But where could I go? Where could I run? Wherever I'd go, I'd still have me, tossed and troubled on life's cruel sea. I wrote those words at the start of a poem called Longings in 1977. That's how long ago I wrote them. And they're still applicable today. In my life, in your life, in everyone's life. No, folks, we don't want to stop the world and get off. We want to take the world by its reins and redirect it to new horizons, to new possibilities, to a time of prosperity, a time when all the wrongs are righted, when justice comes, when all of the lies get exposed, and we finally realize once and for all that we chose to be here at this time, in this time of upheaval, in this time when everything seems to be falling apart. It's falling apart because from the ashes, something new is going to arise. From the ruins, if you will, of the old world, the new world arises, and this time without the destruction of all the material things, this time a peaceful transition from the old to the new, as we finally, collectively, wake up from our nightmare and create a dream that's been in our hearts all along, a dream of peace and a world that works for everyone. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Namaste.